We are used to a simple formula. If a cat is fed, warm, and not screaming in pain, it means they're happy. We assume happiness is just the absence of pain. But have you ever stopped to think that a cat can't book an appointment with a therapist? They can't say, "Hey, that new cabinet in the hallway is giving me anxiety." Instead, they stay silent. They endure. And they send signals that we as humans often write off as just bad attitude. Today, we're going to learn how to hear what cats are screaming about without making a sound. Welcome back, friends. You are on our channel, where we learn to understand the language of those who walk by themselves. Today we have a very important, deep, and slightly touching topic. We're going to talk about hidden signs of stress and illness. You see, in the wild, a cat isn't just a predator. It's also prey for larger animals. Evolution has taught them to be masters of disguise. Show weakness, and you don't survive. That's why our domestic fluff balls are like little partisans. They will hide their pain and fear until the very last moment. I've gathered 8 non-obvious signs that even the most loving owners often miss. If you recognize your pet in these descriptions, please don't panic. This isn't a verdict. It's a key to understanding. Let's dive in. Let's start with a classic: grooming. Cats are the gold standard for cleanliness, it's true. They can spend up to 30 or 40% of their waking hours grooming. But there is a fine line where caring for their coat turns into a neurosis. If you notice your cat licking itself with frantic intensity, literally gnawing at its fur, or if you see bald patches, broken stubble, or redness on their belly or legs, this is an alarm bell. In veterinary medicine, this is called psychogenic alopecia. Imagine a person who bites their nails or twists their hair when they're nervous. A cat does the exact same thing. The act of licking releases endorphins, hormones of joy, that help dull their anxiety just a little bit. Ask yourself, what changed? Did you move a favorite chair? Are the neighbors renovating? This is your cat's way of saying, "I need to self-soothe." Before treating the skin with ointments, try to remove the source of the stress. We've covered the fur. Now let's look at the bowl, because a message might be hiding there too. Point number 2, appetite. Picture this. Just yesterday, your fluffy gourmet was clearing their plate in seconds, but today they walk up to the bowl, take a sniff, look at you with silent reproach, and walk away. Or they eat, but slowly, as if doing you a favor. We often think, oh, they're just being picky. Their taste changed. But in the feline world, refusing food is a red flag the size of a skyscraper. A healthy cat, physically and emotionally, eats with gusto. Cats are very sensitive to smells. If they have a stuffy nose or a toothache, food loses its appeal. But often, this is a marker of depression or deep anxiety. If this is accompanied by apathy, just lying there staring at the wall, it's time to go to the vet immediately. Remember, cats physically cannot handle fasting. After just 24 hours of not eating, irreversible processes can begin in their liver. So the old saying, "they'll eat when they're hungry," does not apply here. But cats communicate with us through more than just gestures. Sometimes silence, or conversely a scream, speaks louder than words. Pay attention to your pet's vocals. The key here is change. If your cat has always been a chatterbox narrating your every move, that's normal. But if a quiet cat suddenly starts giving loud, drawn-out concerts, especially at night, listen closely. Loud, demanding meowing, sometimes turning into a howl, can indicate pain. In older cats, this is a common sign of cognitive dysfunction, the feline equivalent of dementia. They simply get lost, forget where they are, and call for help. Or the reverse situation. Your cat used to greet you with a joyful chirp, but now has been silent for weeks. Imagine a friend who was always the life of the party suddenly sitting in a corner, not saying a word. Any sudden shift in talkativeness is a request for attention. Maybe your cat is just scared and lonely, or maybe something hurts. And sometimes, to handle anxiety, cats choose the disappearing tactic. The 4th signal is invisible mode. Maybe your cat used to sleep at your feet or on the back of the sofa, supervising the whole apartment. But now you only see them darting from cover to cover. They've moved in under the bed or on top of the highest cabinet. This doesn't mean they've stopped loving you. It's a basic need for safety. When a cat feels emotional overload, fear, or physical illness, their instinct says, hide. Become invisible until you feel better. If this recluse behavior lasts more than a day, it's serious. Especially if you try to reach for them and they shrink into a ball. Never drag a hiding cat out by force unless it's a life or death emergency. Their hiding spot is their fortress. It's better to sit on the floor nearby and speak in a soft voice. Let them know, I'm here, I'm guarding you, come out when you're ready. The next point is the most delicate one, and it's the one cats get punished for most unfairly. Litter box issues. A puddle on the bed, a surprise in your shoes, or just ignoring the box. The first human reaction? You little brat! You did that to spite me. It's revenge. Friends, let's remember this once and for all. Cats are not capable of revenge. They don't have the abstract thinking to plan payback because you didn't give them a treat yesterday. A puddle on your bed is a desperate letter. The cat is mixing their scent with yours because your scent is their safety guarantee. They are literally screaming, I'm scared or in pain, and I want to surround myself with the smell of protection. Most often, this is either cystitis, when using the box hurts so they associate the box with pain, or severe stress. Scolding them for this is like scolding a person with a high fever for sweating. It will only make the problem worse. Now let's talk about a state where the cat seems to be physically present, but acts like a taut string. Sign number 6, hypervigilance. Your cat is lying down, seemingly resting, but their ears are rotating like 360-degree radars. They flinch at the squeak of a floorboard. The skin on their back might ripple. This is fight or flight mode. Their body is flooded with stress hormones, cortisol and adrenaline. They aren't relaxing for a single second. This often happens after a vet visit, the arrival of a new aggressive pet, or even a child playing too roughly. Living in this mode burns a lot of energy. It depletes the immune system. If you see your cat has turned into a nervous paranoid, you need to create a quiet zone. Maybe plug in a pheromone diffuser, or just give them a high vantage point where no one can touch them. Stress steals not just peace, but the joy of life. And this is clearly visible in play. Did they used to do backflips for a laser pointer, but now they just watch the toy mouse with a lazy gaze and yawn? Don't write this off as, well, they're just growing up. Play for a predator is a rehearsal for the hunt, a release of dopamine, the joy of victory. If the motivation to play is gone, it means the cat has no resources left for joy. This is a classic sign of depression or chronic pain, for example, arthritis when jumping simply hurts. Try changing the toy. Try playing at a different time. If there is absolutely no interest, it's a reason to check their joints and general health. And the last signal, number 8, which many mistake for fun, the famous zoomies. Yes, sometimes a cat just needs to burn off energy. But there's a difference between a fun sprint and a panicked flight from an invisible enemy. If a cat, especially a usually calm one, suddenly starts running chaotically along the walls with dilated pupils, knocking things over, and then abruptly freezes, breathing heavily, this isn't fun. This is a release of massive internal tension. Often this signals that the cat lacks stimulation during the day, they are bored, and by nightfall this energy transforms into anxiety. Or conversely, the day was full of too many scary events. A healthy zoomie is a game. The cat might stop, attack your foot, and run on. A panic run looks like the cat is being chased by a demon. In this case, they don't need a scolding. They need a calming word and a review of their daily routine. Friends, cats are amazing creatures. They are masters of stoicism. They don't complain, they retreat into themselves. Their language isn't words, but nuances. The position of their whiskers, a look, how they sleep, or why they ignore the litter box. If you recognized your cat in one of these points, don't blame yourself. You've already taken the first step. You noticed. This is an opportunity to get closer. Perhaps your furry friend has been waiting a long time for you to finally hear them. Try to remove the source of stress. Add more love, play, and predictability to their life. And of course, if in doubt, always consult a veterinarian. Let me know in the comments. Have you noticed these quirks in your cats? How did you handle it? Your experience might help others. If this video was helpful, give it a like. It helps more people learn about the language of feline stress. Subscribe to understand your pets without words. Take care of your tails and see you in the next video.